wonder if patrons are starting to think about the summer reading program. Oh no. If they don't get their game card and start reading books, they won't be able to win fabulous prizes and earn their t-shirts. Oh wait, it's still only March. Summer reading doesn't start until June. Gee, it's awfully quiet around here today. Have you happened to see Peter or PJ?
Not for a little while. I'm sure they're just reading quietly somewhere.
My books. My books. My books.
Mr. Mole, I can explain. There was a green flash and a tiny little man. I think he must have knocked everything over. We were just trying to help, I swear.
PJ, do you really expect me to believe that? I can't believe this mess. My books are everywhere.
Mr. Mole, I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. I was helping PJ shelve books. He has a new system that he wanted to try out. All of a sudden the books were falling everywhere.
Mr. Mole, I can see you're upset. It's a pretty big mess. But you always have words of wisdom to share with us, and I'd like to show you that I have been listening by telling them back to you. I hope you don't mind. I know you're angry, but remember how you always say that this is our library, our books?
Yes, I guess that I do, Ilsa.
Well, if there are books, they're only partly yours. They partly belong to, and are the responsibility, of all of us. Wouldn't you say that is true?
You're absolutely right, Ilsa. I responded in anger. I was reacting to the situation without giving myself time to process what was happening. The scientific community calls that a fight, flight, or freeze response. I'm just glad that you reminded me before I said anything hurtful that I would have regretted. Peter, PJ, I can see that you're just as upset as I was. I want you both to know that I appreciate your attempts at help, and that I know you didn't mean for all the books to be in a giant pile on the library floor. PJ, why don't you tell me a little bit about your new system?
Well, Mr. Mole, I thought the library would be prettier if the books were organized by the colors of the rainbow. Plus, I read a book that said rainbows attract unicorns, and I was hoping to lure one of those magical creatures into the library.
I see. Well, I don't know much about attracting unicorns, PJ, but in olden times, librarians used to have all sorts of ways to organize books. Some librarians organized the books by their size or shape, and some librarians even organized them by color, like you were trying to do. The problem was, if you didn't know what a book looked like, you would have to guess as to where to find it. That's why librarians decided to start organizing books alphabetically, by the author's last name. For example, if an author's last name started with an A, their book would come before an author whose last name started with a B.
I see. That is a good way to organize a library.
Should we start putting these books back on the shelf? We'll put them in alphabetical order by the author's last name.
Let's take turns and talk about why we put the book where we do. That way, if one of us makes a mistake, we help each other find the right spot for the book.
That's a great idea. Let's get started. Remember, look at the spine label of the book to see who the author is. This pile of books is fiction, so the spine labels will say fiction, and then they'll have the author's last name.
Okay, I have a book here whose author's name is Free. I'll put that towards the first half of the shelf, since Free starts with F and F comes closer to the beginning of the alphabet.
This book's author is Jocelyn. Jocelyn starts with J. Does that come before or after F in the alphabet?
After.
Okay, I'll put it here and leave some space for the books that will go between these two.
Here's a book about an ad salesman facing an existential crisis by someone named Draper. I'll put it in front of the book by Free, since D comes before F in the alphabet.
The book that I have is by someone named Inkman. I'm going to put that just in front of the book by Jocelyn, because I comes just before J in the alphabet.
The author of this book is named Groner. I'm going to put that after the book by Free because I comes after F.
That's a good call, Peter. You're a good shelver. Now, my next book is by a person named Noble. I'll put that at this end of the shelf.
And my book is by a human person named Barnes. I'll put this one near the left side of the shelf since B is the second letter in the alphabet.
This book looks like some sort of sci-fi action book about a young radio inventor. The author's name is Marconi. I'll put that one near the book by Noble, since M comes just before N in the alphabet.
Ooh, this one looks good. It's about a fellow whose name I can't pronounce and a fellow named Clay. The author's name is Chabin. I'll put it just after the book by Barnes.
This book doesn't say what it is about. The author's last name is King, though, so I'll put it just in front of the book by Marconi.
I have a book by someone named Lamb. L goes between K and M in the alphabet, so I'll slide it in right there.
Ooh! A bunny book. I love bunnies. The author's name is Adams, so this looks like it goes in the very first spot.
Which are cuter, bunnies or unicorns?
Bunnies. No unicorns. No bunnies. No unicorns. No chipmunks.
PJ, stop distracting Peter. Peter, who wrote your next book. And it's bunnies, obviously. Unicorns aren't cute. They're majestic.
This book is by Ethos. It goes here. And I still think chipmunks.
And the last book is Hubert. It looks like it'll just fit in our last empty space, between the book by Groner and the book by Inkman.
Wow, that pile seemed a lot bigger when we started.
Well, Peter, that's the power of doing things together. Many hands make light work.
And we still have time for me to show you the rainbow system, Mr. Mall. There was one shelf that didn't fall. Come check it out. I'm sure you'll agree it's awesome.
We'll see about that, PJ. But lead on.
Well, it is pretty.
Yes, very pretty. But hardly what one would call awesome. Our books attracted a unicorn. Now that is what one would call awesome.
Can we keep it, Mr. Mall?
Oh, PJ,